Hi guys, welcome. I'm SimUK. This is Unity of Command 2, and this is my somewhat self-generated tutorial for the game itself. Now, the reason I say that is because although there are some tutorials in the game, you can see there's 3 tutorials here. The HQ tutorial is missing, and each of these are, let's say, somewhat limited and a little bit convoluted in some areas too. The phraseology utilized within the tutorial is nothing short of confusing, but lacking some important details at the same time. So I'm going to try and, based on my unfortunately limited gameplay experience, I'm going to try and explain to you at least the basics so that you can get up and running a little bit quicker than I did. I spent a lot of time thinking, I have no idea what's going on here, but actually it's quite intuitive. No, it's not. It's not intuitive at all. It's quite easy once you know how to play it, but it's not very intuitive. Let me jump in and I'll tell you what we've got. So we've got all of these scenarios that we can play, but we've also got the campaign. The campaign is really good. I've just realised that I got something wrong in the review. It's 2 levels below classic, and then there's hard, like a new super hard mode, which gives you a card deck size of 3. Now, the card decks thing is something I'm not particularly au fait with, and there are a few bits I don't know. I'm going to keep it on easy just because I'm going to be talking to you, and that doesn't help me focus, that is. 1943, Europe, we are the Allies. It'll bring us up to speed here. February 2nd, 1943, German 6th Army surrenders, and the Soviets take 91,000 prisoners and continue striking west. February 9th, 1943, Germans evacuate the salient, the Brest salient, I don't know how to say that to be honest with you, and the Eastern Front stabilises. Now, the Allies were attacking down here in Africa. The British 8th Army breaks the Mareth line, reorganised after Kasserine. Allied forces strike. The final battles in North Africa begin, and this is where the campaign begins. You can see the route we're going to be taking. So, this is a new feature up here, command, HQ commands. And you can see that we've got the US 2nd Battalion, or the 2nd Corps, and the British 8th Infantry. So they each have quite a bit of information on. You can see they are slightly different, but you can sort of upgrade your HQ in order to have different abilities. Now, the most important thing by far in this game is the supply. If you don't have good logistics, good supply, you're basically going to lose. So I would always recommend spending good money on these. These are trucks, and basically you have, let's say you have limited number. Should I describe this better when we're in the game? Yeah, I'll do it briefly now. So you have limited resources coming into the map. Let's say 2 points that are coming in. Now, if you control a train line, then you will have supply all along that train line, but only to the extent where you can supply units that are 1 hex away from the train line. So what you do is you put down resource dumps, and those resource dumps have trucks. That's what these are. And the more trucks you have, the more resources you can supply out to your units. That's the basic premise of it, and it's really quite important. So I've maxed out range of movement for both of these. That's really important. It's still an area that I'm coming to terms with, but I've got the basic gist of it. Down here we have these cards, and you can see, oh, that's pretty good actually. I've got 2 for free, so I'll grab both of those. Why wouldn't I? B-26 bomber. That will cost us 40 prestige and 16. Oh, the recoup value is 16, so it costs us 40 to buy it originally, and then if we use it, we can buy it back a second time for 16. That's what that means. I've only just learned that myself. Support card, paid, so we can add 1 extra truck. That's probably not that useful right now. That's quite cheap. We've got 100 prestige left. We can't buy all 3, but we nearly can. Deploy elite steps to units. Now, steps are basically... How would I describe steps? Why did they call them steps in the first place? It's basically unit strength. So it's the number of men. So you have a tank regiment and it has 50 men. That will be represented by 5 dots. But if 20 of those men die, you'll have 3 dots. And the dots are what they called steps. So you can replace those dots with elite units. So if they're not dots, then they become elite units, which means they have special abilities. That's what that is. So I mean, it's quite a good thing to have. We're going to grab that, we're going to grab that, and I think that'll do us. We've got 10 prestige left. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's click up here to end the conference. By the way, that was the conference. The conference is basically your setup where you plan your advance. And we're going to start the scenario now at Wadi Akarit. I'm completely guessing that that's how it's pronounced. While US forces have been halted near El Gueta Maknesi, oh my god, the British 8th Army has broken through the Mareth defensive line. Only the Wadi Akarati stands in the way of Montgomery's forces breaking into open terrain. In the air, the Allies have gained the upper hand, and at sea, precious few Axis supply ships arrive intact in Tunisia. So we have only 6 turns, because we're playing on easy. I thought we had more than 6. But it was 9. Okay. AFHQ dispatch. This is the scenario briefing. Our forces are converging towards a link-up in central Tunisia. US 2nd Corps and British 1st Army are to try and force the passes of the eastern dorsal range and then cut off the Axis line of retreat from Wadi Akarati. Be wary of overextending your forces, though. At this stage in the Desert War, there is no need for unnecessary risks. So it says. So there's like a little tutorial there. If you hold the control button, you can zoom in and zoom out. If you hold the control button and the left trigger, you can rotate the whole map. It's a completely 3D generated engine. It looks very nice, I think you'll agree. And if you just click, you can pan like that. I'll be honest with you, I'm not that keen on it. I don't know why pressing control needs to be implemented in order to zoom in and out. I do kind of, because it also allows you to apply trucks, but only when you have, oh god, trying to zoom out, only when you have one of your units selected. So like if I have 4 trucks available, so if I click on that, click on the resource point, you can see I can scroll up, and that increases the number of trucks that I have there, and you can see that the range increases and decreases as a result. And our units are right up to this line, so really I only need 1 on there. I don't need to supply any of this area, so I could better utilize that somewhere else. I suppose this is worth pointing out. So if you click up here, this gives you the supply network view, which is what I'm looking at the moment. If I just press enter, that will confirm the changes that I've made. But if I hold down the V key, you'll see it shows me the same information. And what we've got here, if I zoom in a little bit, what we've got here is a representation of the supply line. Now this is the most important part of the game. So I'm going to focus on this now, and because without this, you're not going to go anywhere. It's as simple as that, right? So you have these areas here. I think we have 2 on this map. I have to press control to zoom out. Yes, so we have 1 here, and we have 1 here. And basically, this is a railway line that's coming into the map. And if you control the railway line, you will have supplies. If I zoom in and press V, you can see that we have supplies all along the railway lines, as far as they go. But they'll only supply units that are 1 square or 1 hex away from the railway line itself. So you can place these resource dumps. Now, resource dumps further expand that support. So you can see if I click on this, that particular resource dump is supplying all of these. And if I scroll down and swap that to just 1 truck, you can see that I'm now only supplying up to the edge here where the yellow line is. Now, actually, that's fine, because if I come up here, I can do the same thing and drop that down to 1. We have units all along this edge. So really and truly, we don't need any more than just 1 unit of supply, because we have, what have we got here? Oh, didn't mean to do that. Make sure I have got some supply. I need that corner, so that needs to be on 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these resources, and you can have a maximum. And now I'm not sure if this is going to change in the full release or not, but you can have a maximum of 5. So I can place 1 more down, and once you've put them down, you can't pick them up again. So it's really important that you think about where you're going to place them. But it doesn't tell you that in the tutorial. It doesn't describe that anywhere. I just kind of stumbled across that information watching a video of the developers chatting about it, and they casually mentioned it within a 2-hour stream at one point, and I was like, "Wow, that's a really important bit of information that doesn't appear to be shared anywhere in the game." So in the tutorial, I hope they clarify the position on that a little better. So looking at resources, if I come off that view and hold down the V key again, you can see that we have these white bars. White bars indicate that you are getting supply. White bars with red dots on indicate that you are getting supply, but there are issues surrounding that. So for example, over here you can see we got a quite hilly area. So I don't know what that is, 10%, 20%. So we won't get 100% supply. We'll maybe get 20% supply, but it's not cut and fast like that. It may fluctuate. There are other views up here. So if I look at the weather view, I can't. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure why that didn't work. So we're in weather view, and rather surprisingly, there doesn't appear to be any weather at all. I think maybe the weather view only shows you when there's rain. I think that's the only weather that I've ever seen, actually, thinking about it. So we're in the middle of the desert. There is no rain. I think that's what we're looking at here. But you might see an area of clouds here. And if you did, that would further impede your resource and your movement speed, because the weather would be bad and it would be muddy, etc. So that's really the most important thing. Make sure that your resources reach your units. And you can see that at the moment, excuse my headphones, at the moment we have all of the units covered. So we've got a couple of units here. This is our main task force here. They're covered, but they won't be until I increase this number. Probably put that on 2 now. So as we move the front line, you can see this red line here is the front line. As we push these units back, this will expand, but only to a certain amount. You can see the railway line goes all the way up here. So we can get supply right up to this point without having to utilize another resource dump like that. But at some point, we've got to get all the way up here. So maybe dropping a supply dump here would be useful. Now, this is an enemy supply dump. We can take that, and that will resupply the unit that takes it. And I think any additional units within 2 or 3 hex radius as well. So when you're pushing forward and you've extended yourself beyond your own supply line, you can highlight that as a key take advantage point, and you will resupply your units as a result. Not having supplies will basically decimate your team. It's as simple as that. Now, I need to get off the screen before I waste my trucks. You can see I've got 5 trucks. Just going to click on tick there and confirm those changes. Whew, okay, now that's the most important thing. Once you've got that bit under control, once you understand how that works, you're set, you're good to go. The rest of it is quite basic. So this is a unit. If we click on it, you can see we get a bit of information about the unit. Now, I would love to see hover tips in this game because I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What does that mean? What's the difference between that and that? I think that's attack and that's defense, and that is 3+1. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's movement speed. It's not clear. If they just either explained it in the tutorial or allowed you to hover over it and get some information, that would be perfect. But we can see that it's a 5-strong unit, and they're all dots. So we can see that there are no special units in that team, but they are entrenched, and that is identified by this shovel here. Now, if the shovel is removed and replaced with, here we go, here's one, this sort of 3 brick system, that means they're double entrenched. Like, these guys are super hard to move out the way. And you can see that if we click on this, they are a fully 6-manned team. So they are fully strong. And they've got this S unit, which is the Bersagliera. I don't really know what that means, which means they basically have greater attack and greater defense. So this is an elite veteran unit with an experience of 200. The most I've seen, I think, was about 250 was the most experienced unit I've seen. It maybe goes up to 300. I'm not 100% sure on that. Again, it's an area that the game doesn't really... There's a 220 there. It doesn't really tell you about 320. Oh, it goes above 300. Well, there you go. There's proof that that information isn't available. Now, elite units are seriously going to kick your butt. And if they're entrenched, it's even worse. Certain tiles give you greater attack and or defensive abilities, but on the most part, if you click on a unit and you want to attack somebody, I'll show you this in a second because we're still in the preparation mode, or the preparation feature of the game. We have some cards down here. I think we can use these, but again, this isn't very well explained, so I don't particularly know how to use this. I think if I go Avro Lancaster... Oh, weird, I can't even use these right now. Well, I didn't know that. There you go. See, I'm still learning things as we go. But you will be able to apply those cards to give you special abilities. You can see up here I've got air raids, air attacks, and this is reconnaissance. So it would give you the Avro Lancaster here and the B-52 here, so you'd have them available to you. But I think you can only use them once. Sometimes you can use them more than once. I'm not really sure 100% how that all works. So let's end preparation and get into the battle and see what I can explain to you as we play. So each unit has a certain number of moves. Down here we have the British 8th Infantry HQ, and the HQ gives you access to, now if you remember at the preparation we could unlock new things, and I unlocked all trucks, nothing else. But we have special abilities here. You have the ability to destroy a bridge, repair a bridge, even create a pontoon bridge. So there's no really good example of it here. But let's say for argument's sake I was here and I wanted to get over there without going over this bit. I could possibly build a pontoon. Normally it's not over sea, it's over a river, but I haven't got one to show you. Oh, there's one here. So here, I can't go straight over this point because there's no bridge available. I do wish I didn't have to press control to zoom in. I don't like that at all. But you could create a pontoon bridge and just jump straight over here and come down this road towards Infideville. I don't know how to say that. So that's just one of the abilities that you have. You also have an emergency supply, so you can drop this down if you've got a unit that's pushed really far forward and they've run out of ammunition and they're beyond the scope of your HQ. Well, actually, that's another thing. If they're beyond the scope of your supply, then they're going to run out of ammo and resources really quickly. You can drop an emergency supply to them, but only if they are within your HQ limit. So you see this white dotted line? That is the reach that the HQ unit has. And in this particular game, we have 3 units. So we've got the British 1st, we've got the American 2nd, and the British 8th down here. And you can see that's the HQ remit that the 8th has. That's the HQ remit that the 2nd has. And up here on the 1st, that's what they have. And the 1st are in a bit of a state there. They've got some extremely serious elite units that are very heavily entrenched along this line. So a difficult battle is going to commence. Speaking of battle, let's actually get involved here. So we have the engineers unit. Now these guys are extremely good at attacking people who are entrenched, and you can see now, first of all, this wasn't explained either in the tutorial, but if you look up here in the top right hand corner, it gives you a breakdown of the battle expectancy that you're going to have. Now there's a lot of information there, a lot of which I can't clarify exactly what it means because I've yet to discover a tutorial that covers it. There may well be a manual for this game that I've just suddenly thought. There was a reference earlier. It says look in section 3.2 at the manual, but I don't know where the manual is. There's no link to it that I've seen within the game, so maybe that's an area where you can resource better information. I'll have a look at that in a minute actually after this, but I know enough to get you up and running quickly. So unless you want to go read the manual, keep watching the video, but I highly recommend you, if there is a manual, I'll put a link to it or something, I don't know, at the end of the video. So you can see here 02. Now what that basically means is that the little dots, if we attack them, they're likely not to cause us any losses, but we're likely to cause them 2 losses. Now if you look up in the top right hand corner, you can see that's represented as 02. When I first played the game, I went into a whole bunch of battles with 5-0, and being a football man, I thought, oh wow, I'm going to absolutely decimate this team. So I jumped in, threw my men at it, they all died. I was like, oh bloody hell, that's terrible. That's, you know, who'd have thought that it could go completely the opposite way like that? So I threw in another unit that had a 5-0 attack. I was like, yeah, we're going to take you out this time. And they died as well. So it took me a while to realise that rather than being a football score, this is a loss score. So we're not going to lose any units, they're going to lose 2. So that's what that is, just to clarify there. So one of the most important things, I mean, there's a lot of information over there. You can see that we've got 2 specialist units in our units there. One is an engineer. I'm not sure what the dot represents, maybe a sniper or something. Oh no, it's an artillery unit. So we also have, if we come down here, we have an artillery suppressive fire ability because this team has it. So we can suppress these guys. So if we wanted to attack them with these boys, we could suppress them, which would hollow out one of these units, which means they can't fight, but they're not dead. They're still there, they just can't fight. And then we could attack them with another unit, which makes it easier for these guys to attack them. There's a lot of information coming at you guys. Just prepare yourselves for it. Now, how do I unselect? There we go. So, as a contrasting experience, you can see this is a 1-to-1. So this is like a 50-50 battle. Could go either way. We could both lose a unit. It's not 100% definitive. We could both lose a unit. We could both lose no units. We could lose a unit and they won't lose any. It's just we expect it to go like this kind of thing. There's no guarantees, but this is the expected outcome. Now, if we attack these guys, we're going to lose 3 units. They're not going to lose any. And that's almost guaranteed. Like I say, when I first started playing, I thought 5-0, I'll take them on, and lost a lot of units doing that. So, yeah, that's basically how it is. And you can see that these guys have got 2 specialist units, and these guys have got absolutely none. Now, they're an experienced 220 veteran infantry unit, but these are an experienced 330 elite infantry unit, and that's why they have the ability to go kick some ass. Now, another 2 really important things that you need to pay attention to is the retreat score at the bottom. There's a 50% chance that these guys will retreat, which basically means they move back and relinquish this square here, or this hex here, which means we could push another unit up into that space. This unit over here has a 70% retreat likelihood and a 10% overrun. So the likelihood is that these guys will lose 2 units, won't cause us any damage, they'll retreat, and then we can take that hex there. But there's a 10% chance that they won't retreat in time and they will be completely overrun, which basically means they're gone. We take them prisoner and we take the hex. So that's what that means. That's what that information up there is. So I hope that's a pretty decent explanation of how the mechanics of the game work. Obviously, you've got other units like tanks here, which are specifically good against certain things. These, by the way, these are, oh my god, these things are absolutely, I forget the name of them. You'll know what they are. I normally know what they are, but I can't think of the name right now. Panzer Grenadiers, these guys are seriously hardcore. They will kick your ass. They will take all of your tanks out if you just put yourself in the wrong position. Okay, I'm back. Had a bit of a dry throat, had to go get a drink, and then I had to endure the missus taking the mickey out of me because I couldn't put the lid back on the lemonade bottle. They've changed the lids and it doesn't matter. Okay, right, let's get into the battle, and I've never actually completed this mission. I've seen it done, so I know the best way to do it, and I'll just try and do it as quickly and efficiently as possible. Okay, let's attack these guys because they've got a 70% chance of retreating and a 10% chance of being overrun. There you go, they've been breached, they've been pushed back. That opens up this opportunity. So we can take this tank and we can push this in. Now, this unit over here is entrenched, but they're not a very strong unit. They're a 200 veteran unit, surprisingly, Italian armoured unit. But these guys are more mobile, they're not entrenched, and they are a big problem. They're also 220 veterans, so I'm quite keen to go in there because you can see we can basically almost kill them off completely. We can do them some damage. There's quite a few bits we can do there. Maybe if I can push this unit back, that would be good. And you can see this tank, which looks almost identical. Let's see what the difference is. 220 veteran mobile, 240 veteran mobile. And you can see they've got an extra man, an extra dot up here, which is giving them the extra strength, which is causing the 0-1 score against the enemy there, whereas this one would be a 1-1 score against them. So these are the kind of things you need to take into consideration. Now, these are 320 elite units, which give us an even better score. Still 0-1 here, but 0-3 here. So we could eliminate these guys completely by doing this. One thing I forgot to mention, I'm just going to quickly cover now. If I press and hold the B button, this shows me the enemy's resource supply units. Now, I'm not entirely convinced that on the hardest level I should be able to see this, but I understand it's part of the game, so maybe it is a necessary evil, if you will. Now, you can see their resources. There's a supply depot there. You can see the railway line that they have control of. It's giving them decent supply all along here. So taking this area would be very useful. Obviously, this is an objective right here. But they've got resources right up to the corner here. Now, if I can cut this off, if I can take this square and this square, hex, sorry, then all of the units up this end will have no supply. And the further I push them this way, the less supply these guys will get. And within 3 turns of having no supplies, these heavy, serious units, see, like I've got 1 tank and 2 units here, you'd think they've got the advantage. But if I cut off their supply, these guys won't be able to do anything at all to us. So it's really a good idea to think about how you can block off the enemy, if at all possible. Now that unit's not going to give us a decent attack, so I'm going to take my elite unit and I'm going to push them into this gap here, and I'm going to attack this guy. Now we actually got suppressed there, but we did well enough to push them back, so they've been pushed back. And one other thing I want to mention is that when a unit is orange, it means they can move and attack, and when a unit is blue, sometimes it will be blue and you'll have the ability to move, but you won't be able to attack because you've already attacked. So just bear that in mind. So I'm going to take my second best unit. I'm going to push them up. And I think we're going to attack... these guys. Do them a bit of damage there. We've got an aircon unit here, so I'm going to bring that in. You can see that these green dots indicate that there's nobody else there. So I'm going to take this bomber. I'm just going to bomb this unit. I'm going to try and start weakening this as soon as possible, because the quicker I can get them done, the better. So still we have very little attack possibilities here. Maybe I should have attacked these guys and given myself the ability to push these guys back. But I'm going to try something I've not tried before. So these guys are entrenched, which is why they're capable of doing so much damage to us. Now what I might do is try suppressive fire, no retreat, feint attack, or a set piece attack. This is what I'm going to try. I've never used this before. What's the other one? Rear guard. Okay. So rear guard is if you get attacked, fall back. Don't fight. Just fall back and take a position further back. So give them the spot. If the Germans attack you, give them the position that you're currently in, fall back to the next safest location. That's what a rear guard is. But we're going to try a set piece attack. Order a unit to methodically attack an enemy position, reducing its entrenchment. So by doing that, if we attack them once, their entrenchment will be gone. So we'll be able to push through that gap a lot easier in the next move. Now we may take some damage as a result of that. I'm not entirely sure. The requirements are unit must not be weak or green. Unit must be in supply. Infantry with active artillery special ability, which this team do. They've got a QF 25 pounder. And unit must have all MPSs and AP. I don't really know what that means. This action spends all attackers MP and AP. It also removes all of its own entrenchment. So we're not currently entrenched, so that's not a problem for us. But once we use this attack, we won't be able to move the unit. So there is that to consider. So if I now go, excuse me, set piece attack. So you see we lost 2 units there. So we took a bit of a pounding. But we can move this unit out of the way. And we can push in now. It's only 1-1. Oh my gosh. So these must be a really tough unit. They must be really tough. Okay, we're going to push the tanks in. And we're going to hit these guys. So you can see now they've still got 5 units there, but 4 of them are currently suppressed and only 1 of them is currently active. Now, because they're in supply, they will become more active next time, but there's a good chance they'll move back because they'll only have 2 units available and we've got 3 and they're not entrenched. So that's the basic logic behind the attack that I've placed there. Now, can I move anybody any further forward? I don't think I can. They can't move because I used the special ability. Okay, oh, we've got a tank here, but no. They can't move far enough up to be effective in any way, shape or form. And that's pretty much all we can do over there. Right, let's check out this. 1-to-1, 3-0. We're going to get our asses kicked. But you can see here, we can attack this unit fairly safely. Which in comparison to the 3-0 drumming that these guys are going to get is quite interesting. So we'll attack him. Oh, and he's even pushed back, look. Right, now if I push my tank forward, there's a very good chance that this elite unit here is going to attack us and they're going to do some serious damage. This team here, we could attack them. There is a possibility that we could do that. I'm going to move my elite units here. What are these? 225 veteran infantry units towards this so that we can attack them. There's a 1-to-1 chance here. We could weaken them. So I'm going to give them a bit of a slap and just hope that when we cut off their supply, they'll be weakened even more. But I'm not going to move my tank forward. The reason is that this road here leads straight to our HQ and resource deployment area. So it's really quite important that I keep this protected. So I'm going to keep all 3 of these units here just to protect this area. The enemy do like to rush. If they see a gap, if they see a road, obviously you can move faster on a road than you can over hilly terrain. In fact, tanks can't go over this kind of terrain. They can only go down roads. So blocking it is quite important. I'm going to move 1 step forward, actually, just to completely cover that area. We do not want them getting through to here if we can help it in any way, shape or form. Right. Let's have a little think about what we're going to do. I'm going to move this tank up because I want to move it further forward. Now, if we come over here to... oh, I've got to stop doing that. You left click to select the HQ unit, but if you've got a unit selected, you will move them when you do that. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. I've done that so many times. It's just a mistake. I think maybe the game could be changed slightly to stop that from happening. I don't know. Right. Anyway, left click to select a unit, right click to move it. That kind of thing. That would stop that from happening. But that's just a suggestion from me. So the HQ unit, I want to take a look at this right now and look at our supply network. Now you can see that this unit here is currently supplying... Oh, that's good. So all of our units are in supply, but the unit that's here is only getting 1 supply. They're getting 3, they're getting full, and they're getting 6. So we're okay at the moment. I don't need to put any more trucks on this, but I could increase the amount that they were getting, but I think I'm just going to hold off, leave it at 2. So they're definitely getting reinforced and I don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's move up. Let's see what else we've got going on. So here we've got a 220 veteran unit, and that's a fairly safe attack. One of our units got suppressed, but they took, they're entrenched. But they didn't actually lose a unit, which is a bit frustrating. So we didn't get the result there we were looking for. Reason why this tank is so important is, again, it's protecting this road here. This unit could jump all the way down there and take our resources, and that would totally screw us up. Really badly screw us up if they did that. So this unit is really important. I've got to keep a close eye on him. Again, this unit here is protecting this road and this bridge, which is basically protecting this resource line over here. And you can see there is a bridge right here, and I could attack them. I could take that bridge out, which would stop this road from being a direct access line to there, but it would also impede our ability to resupply these guys. So for now, I'm just going to hold on to it. You can see we're entrenched, they're entrenched. We don't really have anything we can throw at them. We could do a feint attack, which is weird. We've got 6. Oh, it's because they don't have... Yeah, they don't have snipers and stuff. They don't have the right equipment to do it. So what does a feint attack do? Order a unit to feint an attack in order to suppress a part of the enemy's forces. The unit takes little or no losses. Does not work across rivers. Requirements: unit is not green. 1 active step. Unit must be in supply. Inflicts 1 SUP on the attacker, suppression on the attacker, and spends its AP, but doesn't remove its own entrenchment. Okay. So, yeah. Why not? It's not going to cost us anything. Oh, it did. It cost us a suppression. So we've suppressed them a little bit. That's fine. That's something. So, yeah. Unfortunately, these guys have absolutely no real opportunity of attacking anyone here. That's a pretty bad loss. That's an absolute loss. We'd lose the entire unit if I attack these guys right now. We can do a set piece attack like we did earlier down here. Not sure that's going to work so well against 2 teams like this. Again, we could take out the bridge, but we are protecting the road which leads straight down to here. I need to be careful of that. Now that is a much better attack option for us. That's definitely better. We like that a great deal more. Maybe I can attack these guys then. Deploy step. Deploy 1 step or specialist from the HQ force pool to a subordinate unit. The unit must be supplied, but not air or HQ supplied. Own unit may have moved in this turn. Step or specialist will be deployed as suppressed, except during battle preparation when it will be active. Or reorganize 1 active step or specialist from a subordinate unit into the HQ force pool. The unit must be supplied, but not air or HQ supplied. Okay, so I think this unit here already has 2 specialist units, but I could I think this means I could throw another one in. We don't actually have any to deploy at the moment, but that's what it would do. Alternatively, I think we could I'm not entirely sure what this one does. Reorganize 1 active step. Maybe it pulls one of the specialist units out of that unit and then I can deploy them somewhere else. I think that's what that is. A little bit confused in certain areas. Right, this HQ unit can come here. It's protecting the road there, no problem at all. These guys, oh god, don't want to attack anybody. Don't want to attack them either. If I move there and attack them, I'm going to get annihilated. If I stay where I am and attack them, I'm going to get less annihilated, but still take an absolute drubbing. How do I entrench? I'd like to entrench my unit. Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't figured out how to make my units entrench. So I'm just going to have to leave them there and hope that they self-entrench or something. There must be a way of doing it. I just haven't yet figured out where the button is to do it, which is a bit frustrating. What's this? Skip unit, undo your last move, go to the next unit. Another thing is, I mean, some of these battles get so big, you're going to forget who you've moved and who you haven't moved. What would be nice would be if this next unit cycle here showed you how many units you had that could still attack or move or something. Maybe when you hover over it, some information would pop up just so you know what's going on. But that's fine. Okay. I think that's all we're going to do for this move. Let's click the button. Let's check the weather. Weather's fine. Check the terrain. Check the movement view. This movement view indicates where enemy units could potentially move to. No. This okay. This shows where your units could potentially move to, and sometimes you'll see that they're restricted by enemy units. It's a bit confusing sometimes. Enemy supplies view. Okay. All right. Let's go. So now the enemy are going to move. I move the unit up here. They've actually pulled back. They've put an airstrike on this unit, which is not nice. And they've actually pulled back a lot. I normally play this game on hard mode, so playing it on easy is probably what's causing them all to pull back so heavily there. I've never seen them retreat so heavily before. Right, so we've got one unit which has its supply disrupted. I'm assuming it's this guy here. It is this guy here. You can see he's got an exclamation mark. So where the enemy have moved up... In fact, I'm not sure why that's been restricted. What has happened there? Let's have a quick look. So he's just outside of the resupply area. But I don't think... Is that even my unit? Is that my unit? Oh, gosh. No, that's an Italian armoured unit. So, who's out of supply then? Somebody's out of supply. Well, it's... Ah, here. Who's this? I think it's these guys. Out of supply for 1 turn. Now, why are they out of supply? They should be in supply. I think maybe it's something to do with this. I'm not sure what's happened here. I'm not sure why this square is not getting any supply. This obviously has a bit of red in it. So maybe that's why. It's interesting. I'm just going to increase that ever so slightly. Oh, wow. Increasing that is not increasing the supply that they're getting on this square. So maybe I should move them from here. Maybe it's just because they're up in the hills and that area is difficult to supply. And that's why they haven't got supply. I think that's probably what it is. Right, so we can push these guys back. We can definitely take these guys out. These guys are out of supply, so it's good to attack them. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to last. Right, okay, so this tank unit here could do this tank unit a lot of damage. Whereas this tank unit is going to cause them some damage. So I think we'll attack them. They should be out of supply now. You can see they've got exclamation marks on them. We've closed off. If I look at the enemy supply here, they're getting a little bit of supply up to here. But they're nothing beyond that point. So these two tanks here now, or these two units here now, are getting absolutely no supplies whatsoever, which is putting them in a very difficult position, which is good for us. Who shall we attack? Again, we don't really have much attack options there. I'm going to move these guys up. Let's give them a bit of a slap. I'm not sure what that indicates. Probably that they're not very happy. In fact, I might just move this unit completely. There's no point moving them there because they're going to get killed, hurt. Okay, so this unit, for some reason, because they've got an experienced S, the Maoris, their attack is 9, their defense is 9, so we can give them a good slap. We got suppression, but we didn't lose a unit, so we'll get them back next time. Obviously, they've got no supplies, so they could be in a sticky situation next time round. Again, this tank is looking pretty serious, but if we drop an airstrike on it, you can see we can roll up now and give that a right good slap. Can we... I'm going to push this unit down here. I'm fairly convinced we've got this corner now under control. Let's just come up here and check our supply. Yes, our supply is good. So they should be all fine for the next round. Okay. So these guys can move, but they can't attack. These guys can't move or attack. These guys have yet to attack. Didn't do as much damage there as I hoped it would, I'll be honest. Okay, did these guys attack them? They did. They can't move. I'm going to move this tank over here so that we can take that unit out. I'm going to push these guys up. I'm going to push these guys up. And if I can, I'm going to move these guys around to here. You can see they can actually do some damage to this enemy unit. They took 2 units there, so they did better than expected, which is great. Interesting. These guys are tricky. They're going to take heavy losses. They're on a 1-to-1 stance. Can I... Ah, that's what that means. These are a no retreat unit, so they're not going anywhere. That's what that little sort of underground sign means there. Okay, I've just learnt that myself. So I'm going to feint an attack against them, which suppresses one of their units, makes them a little bit weaker for the next attack. I'll just move these guys up a smidgerunio. Okay. I think that's that attack done. How are we looking here? So we should be able to do them a bit of damage. You can see they're bringing in reinforcements. Let's get a bit of recon over here. You can see we got 3 units there. They're closing in this sector. They don't want us to push through here. So this is going to be where the battle really commences. I'm fairly convinced we could do them some damage. So let's weaken them a little bit more. I'm going to expect them to move back and open the way for this tank to attack us. So the sooner I can push these tanks forward and start attacking him as well, the better. And that's not worth an attack right there. Well, that is though. Do them some serious damage. They push back. We can take this unit here, push into the city. That gives us a bit of extra strength. And we've managed to take out that unit as well. So we can push up, which puts them under a bit of pressure. Going to do a feint attack, which loses them 1 suppression point. I might do a set piece attack on these guys. Wow. I lost 4 suppression units there, so we took a heavy drubbing, but they're no longer entrenched. Which means they should be slightly easier to attack. Now, what's good here is that you can see that these guys have an exclamation mark on them, which means they're not getting any resources at the moment. But again, if I attack them, it's not going to go in our favour. So I'm going to hold off that attack. But it is good to see that they're not in a good state. I do like that. So what can we do? We can move our tanks forward here. I think we're going to do that. We took some prisoners there. I don't know if you spotted that. We took some prisoners. That might unlock some of the fog of war. It might tell us where some of their resources are, that kind of thing. It didn't that time, but the more prisoners we take, the more likely that is to happen. Right, let's just check our supply routes, make sure everybody's in supply. I think we've got a couple of units here that aren't getting supply. I'm just going to increase the number of trucks we've got to guarantee that they do get supply. That one is fine. This supply route is... Are we getting anything to the city here? We are. So that's okay. And these guys, again, all fine on the Western Front. So we'll say that's all good. We've got 4 trucks available to us, so we can still keep pushing forwards. Let's hand it over to the enemy and just see what they're going to do. So there was that expected move. Again, an airstrike on this tank. They also don't like this tank being here. They're pushing back, trying to protect Susie or Suez, however you pronounce it. Now this here is one of our units. These are some of our men. Now I don't know if I pull back. Not sure why these guys haven't got supply. If I pull back, do I pick these guys up? I'm not sure. No. I was just curious whether or not that happened. So we'll move them back to where they were. Now these guys are not in supply, and I think it's just because they're up in the hills and for some reason they didn't get what they wanted. Let's just check our HQ. Yes, they've still got control there. The American HQ... looks like they've still got control over their full units, and the British 8th Infantry HQ still has control over all units here. That's good. So we're in a good, strong position. That's a 1-to-1. That's not great. I really want to take this. Obviously, I was going to say, I'm a bit nervous about this guy. I'm not now. Look at the damage we can inflict upon him. So, okay, that's good. this guy's pretty much spent. If we attack it with our men, I think we're going to take a heavy loss. So we'll attack it with the tank. And that's that unit gone. Now, what can we do here? Again, we'll attack it with the tank. I want to take the... Oh, that was a good suppression. And we actually pushed them back there, which is nice. But you can see if I attack this unit here, 200 veterans, they're actually going to give me a right kicking. Oh, that was nice. That couldn't have gone any better, really. So I'm going to push forward and attack. So that unit has now been pushed back, which is great. I think I can push some men forward. We took some prisoners. And we can even push the attack further. Maybe take them out completely. We've got some resources available to us now. That was a nice attack there. That went really well. Let's push these guys back. Take that unit out. Took a bit of a hit there, but nothing too serious. Yes, we made some serious progress there. Oh, this is good. This is a really good attack move. Push these guys forward. I think these guys can move all the way up to here. We've got some visibility on enemy units. I'm going to move up. I'm going to take those resources. That resupplies all of these guys. Whilst we're talking about resources, I'm just going to check that we've got resources to all of our guys here. You can see this, whoever's here and whoever's here, they're not going to get resupplied. But other than that, we're right up to the front line. So we've got a good supply route at the moment. I'm expecting the enemy will try and retaliate somewhat. Let's give that guy a good slap. So he's weakened. This is a strong unit here. They could do some serious damage. Another strong unit here. Well, actually, they're not that strong. Only one active member, but stronger than our tank currently. But we'll hold off on that for now. Can anyone else move forward? These guys can move up. By clicking the right area, they can. And nobody's getting supplied there, so there's no point moving to that gap. Better off where we are. Okay, that was a pretty good attack. I'm quite impressed with that. And we can give that tank an extra little bit of a slap. So don't you dare come anywhere near us. Push our tanks up. So for some reason I can't move to that square. Not entirely sure why that is. But okay, I can't push my tank any further forward. Maybe there's just no space on the road or something. Not sure what that is all about. What can we do up here? Anything? No, they're still heavily entrenched, as are we. Tank? That's not a great attack. That's not a great attack either. Not really worth wasting units in that regard. And these guys still out of supply, but not enough to cause them any significant damage. So that's us done for this move. You can see up here, by the way, this is turn 3 out of 11. And if I deselect everything, you see up here on the right hand side, these are our objectives. Now these are our main objectives, to take Sfax, which is here, and Endival, which is here. Now I've taken Suze and Sfax in pretty much every combat battle that I've had in this game, but I've not actually successfully taken that yet. I've been there, and then they counterattacked and killed me on the 11th move, or the 10th move, or the 9th move. I think it was the 9th move, because I was playing on hard, which gives you less turns and makes it harder. But these are bonus objectives to take Fonduk Pass, Maknassi Pass, Fade Pass, and Kervon Pass. We've got to do it by turn 6, 5, 4, and 4. So the next turn, I need to try and be taking Funduk Pass, which is here. That's possible. And Maknassi Pass, which is here. Again, possible. Not easy, but possible. And we get some bonus points. We get HQ 20 points and resupply 20 points for that. Maybe an extra truck or something. If we can do that in the next turn. So that's going to be our secondary objective. They are hitting that tank so hard right now. Okay, so what they've done there is they've moved their weaker units back and they've brought stronger units forward. Intel, we got 3 enemy units located. I'm not sure which ones they are, but I'm guessing it's this one and this one. This is a brand new, yet to be in combat team. So I need to really try and find somebody who can give them a jolly good slap. I'm not entirely sure we've got anybody who can. This tank. Nice. So this should be, if I just click off everything, McNacey Pass by turn 4. So if I move into this area, then you can see we've achieved that. Oh, we've got a bonus. What's this? Specialized suppressive fire. Order a unit to attack it using this artillery only. Unit takes little or no losses. And the cost of it, the cost point, will go down by 1. So at the moment, it costs 2. If I take that for free, you can see it now only costs 1. So that's what that was. That went pretty well. I'm going to move these guys up. So we now have the Macanese Pass. The Fonduque Pass, I think it's going to be a much tougher attack. And there's also a tank that's just rolled in there. They keep dropping bombs on my tank here. I'm just going to bomb this guy. And that didn't help us at all, which is a shame. So I'm not convinced we're going to manage to do this one. They're just too strong. Maybe I should have attacked them earlier. Let's see if we can unentrench them. That allowed us to give them a bit of a better slap, but we're not going to get in there. Let's untrench these guys. They moved back, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting them to do that. So if we push up a little bit, you can see we're not in a great position there, but we have moved forward a smidge. If I move this tank to here, I will leave this road completely open and they'll come in and they will take our resources here. So rather than do that, I'm going to hold fast. Again, we've not really got anything. They're double entrenched. We don't have the ability to put a strike attack on them, which is a bit of a shame. All right. What are we going to do here? So that unit can give them a bit of a drubbing, but nothing serious. This tank can do them way more damage. Let's push them back. Bit concerned about this unit here. Here we go. These guys can weaken these guys. So they're in a no fallback position now. I'm going to move this guy. Oh, I can't move that guy out of the way. I have to move this guy out of the way. If I'd have done that first, I could have attacked these guys, couldn't I? And I could have taken the Fared Pass. Is it the Fared Pass I'm after? No, it's the Fonduque Pass, which is up here. We're not going to get that. Not going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to move this guy up. We've really done them a good bit of damage there. Push up even further. That's pushed that unit back. We're making some serious ground right now, which is awesome. I'm going to pull them back one. I'm going to push these guys up and attack them. That gives us even more maneuverability. So we can move. We could move that tank up. Okay, we can get a unit in here. Let's take these guys up. Oh, that was good. That was very nice. We're going to push even further forward. And they're pretty much annihilated now. That's gone extremely well. We'll push these available units up. Can I get this tank up here? Okay, making good progress. So the HQ, we've still got access to everybody there. Are they getting supplied? They're not getting great supply. I'm just going to chuck another truck in there. I think I'll chuck another truck in there as well. We'll boost. I think we'll just boost them all up like that. Press enter to accept those changes. You see we have no trucks left, but everyone is in good supply. So on our next turn, we should have some decent weaponry, etc. Let's see what is going on up here at the Fonduke Pass. Wow, didn't get any information at all out of that. Nothing really going on at Cairn. So they've pretty much got the maximum number of their units in position now. They've not been they've been out of supply for a whole term, which is not good. Can I come and take these resources? Okay. Do you see what I did there? It's great. I've taken their resources. So these guys are all completely out of resources now. But I've left the road open. Now, if this tank can reach either here or here, we're going to lose our supplies. This is a really, really bad mistake. I'm going to move that tank here to give us some protection on that, in case they do decide to attack. That was a really silly thing to do. I'm going to blame that on chatting away and not paying enough attention to what I'm actually doing. Okay, so I can't get anybody down here to protect that road. I don't think I can blow up the bridge. Can I blow up the bridge? There's the American HQ. So, oh, maybe I can reach that. What? Why can't I do that? Right, let me try and move my American forces forwards. And then see... No, I can't see. I've used all my command points by doing that. Can these guys do it? No, they've got no command points either. Why don't they have command points? I'm not sure. What about these guys? They've got 6 command points. And they're... right. So this HQ team can talk to everybody up to the white line. So these guys currently are not in Communicado with HQ. So if I move HQ forward... Oh my god. If I move HQ forward to, say, here, then we now have communications with everybody, but we've used all of our CP points by doing that. Okay, so we're not going to get the Fonduke Pass, which is a bit of a shame. I was trying to figure out a way of doing that. I have left this road open. This could now go... This is where I keep going wrong. This could all fall apart. See what the Germans do. Oh, they are bombing the hell out of that tank. Interesting. They fell back rather than push forward. So I may have got lucky there. Probably because I'm playing on easy. Normally I play on hard and they'd have gone straight for my resources. And they'd have taken them. Okay, so we got a bit of intel. We know where the enemy units are approximately. We don't know how strong they are. We didn't get that bonus objective, and we've got 3 turns to take Sfax and Infidel, whatever it's called. So this unit really is not in a good position. I'm surprised he's even bothering to be in that area. So I think we've taken Sfax. We have. Sfax has been done. That's that objective achieved. Just check our resources up here. Are we getting... Yes, because we've got the train line that goes all the way up to Sfax. So he's still getting supplied. But anybody over here won't be getting supplied because they're too far out. Now, to overcome that, we can put a new supply network in. But unfortunately, looks like we don't have one at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what does or doesn't allow that to happen. So let's attack that unit. Let's push up. Took some prisoners as a result of that. These guys can't attack anymore, but we'll push up anyway. Take as much of this area as we can. Push our tanks forwards. Oh, man. This is a strong and tricky unit. So if we attack there, drop some bombs on these guys. I'll even do a specialist attack against them. Ah, okay, that's weakened them quite a bit. We have finally taken the Fared Pass, but we don't get the bonus for doing it because... oh, we got a secondary bonus down here. I didn't even realise. Oh no, I'm still thinking of Fenduk Pass. I'm getting confused. So we have achieved that, so we get a bonus. I think for we're going to pay 30 command points and get that. And we've got our support cards up here. I'm not convinced I know how to use these properly. If I go B-26 bomber and drag that up here, you can see that we now have a 26 bomber. We do the same with the Avro Lancaster. We see we now have 1 strike of that. And we do that, we get extra support. If we do that, it costs us 20. Okay, so that has boosted our trucks available. So we can increase our supply lines. Now, does that mean I can put... Yes, I can put a new supply line down, and I can do it here, SFAX, or I can do it up here. I think this is the better location. We're going to do that. We're going to chuck 2 trucks on there, and that gives us supply lines all the way up here. Now, annoyingly, it's supplying all the way backwards, but not all the way forwards. So I might bring that down to 1 and boost that up to... Ah, that's the number of trucks ready on the next turn. So it takes a turn to relocate supply. So if I push that there, and that's there, that's that covered. There's nobody in this area. So I can take a truck off there. That's okay at 1, that's okay at 1. We'll accept that. Which means we're going to get less supplies in this area, but it's not the end of the world. And in the next turn, we'll be able to boost this one up hugely. We'll be able to get like 6, 7 trucks or something ridiculous like that. Okay, let's push forwards. I can see we can give these guys a good slap. They wouldn't have liked that very much. Again, I still can't do anything against these guys. I might do an Avro Lancaster bomb run just here. Now, I'm hoping I don't hit my own men with this. I did this once before, and I caused a lot of damage to everybody in the near vicinity of that unit. So maybe I'll hold on to that for one more go, actually. Let's try bombing these guys. So that's reduced their effectiveness quite a bit. Took a bit of a risk attacking them there. Oh my god, attacking them is not a good idea. But they can take a slap to the face. Them as well. That's good. We've pushed them back. Okay, we've got no more attacks available there. These guys are out of supply. In fact, they're out of supply twice. So they can't actually attack anybody. Let's move up and protect that road. Push our units as far forward as we can. Oh dear. Oh, they're out of supply as well. That's a bit lucky for us. They can't move, they can't move, they can't move, they can't move. These guys can move. Cannot move, can move. So we're basically advancing quite heavily there. And okay. That's everything we can do in this particular go. Maybe, no, see, I don't want to hit my own men. I'm going to hold off on that. The saturation strike, we'll hold on to it. See what the Germans do. Again, they're bombing that tank. He's been bombed pretty much every move since the beginning. You can see they've reinforced that unit twice there. Okay. Intel, operations recovered, 2 enemy units located, and some stragglers. Okay, now we've now got 5. Why can't I do this? We now have 5 units. You can see we're resupplying pretty much everybody here, but I can put all 5. Well, I can put a maximum of 5 trucks in there. I didn't realize that. So that's maximum amount of resupply available. We come over here then, let's bump this up as well. Might as well use all of the trucks we have. So they're going to take a bit of a slapping, aren't they? So this unit is pretty much done for. I'm not expecting them to survive. Did pretty well there. This tank has no ammo, which is why it's blue. These guys do have ammo. I wanted to get rid of that tank. That went well. Now they have resources. Now they can do some damage to the enemy, and they have done. These guys are blue, which means they can't attack. They must have already attacked. We're going to get a kicking if we attack them. Don't want to do that. Okay, we've got 2 airstrikes available. They are no longer heavily entrenched, but they're still... Yes, they are. Slightly suppressed. These guys are tough. They are so tough. Right, I'm just going to try and push in and do as much damage as I can, I guess. Push all the way up. Push all the way up. Bring our infantry in. This is the best I've ever done, but it's also the first time I've played on easy mode. Normally I play on hard mode, and at this point I am not far off here, but certainly not looking quite as dominant usually. Okay, so that's all of our available forces pushed forwards. I'm going to drop an airstrike. Oh, I can only do it where I can see. That's a bit of a shame. All right. Can I do it over here? No, no. I can drop it on them. But I fear I might hit my own men if I do that. Last. These guys have still got an attack available, but I can't move anyone out the way in order to get there and attack them. Bit of a shame, but okay, that's the way it is. So, who's out of range? I can see the HQ here. If I move forwards, then all of my units, bar this one, are within range. Maybe I can push this HQ unit up as well. There you go. Now he's in range. I can now use him, communicate with him. Push the Americans up as well, the HQ. And that should give us the maximum amount of strength. Right, so we've got 2 turns to take Infidel, or whatever it's called. I'm pretty sure we can do it. Let's hope. Wow, they did a good job there. So they basically pulled all of their units back to that final area. Bit of information coming in. Now, I'm going to bomb these guys. They're weak. These are weak units. They've got a little X next to them, so they're not strong. And they've only got 1 strength of unit anyway. They're doubly suppressed. These guys are still here. These guys are absolutely doing my head in. Finally, I can attack them. I think we finally got rid of them. Wow, that took some doing. Right, they're out the way. I can stop worrying about those guys now. This is good for us. Heavy attack against them. They're going to take some serious losses as a result. Let's push right up on the enemy here. You can see we can hit that unit in Infidel straight away. That's a good slap for them. Unfortunately, I can't move that unit out of the way now. Can't move any of these guys. Yeah, so they're all stuck up there, which is a tiny bit annoying. We're going to roll in, give them a nice slap as well. Let's do this heavy attack thing, and let's do it here. You can see they took an absolute slamming as a result of that. We're going to push up on the tank. We're going to take the tank out. We're going to push up on the town. Take the guys in the town out. We're going to take the city, attack that unit as well. They're pretty much done here. I'm convinced they're not going to be able to move anywhere in the next couple of moves. Obviously, it takes longer for men on foot to get in position. Roll you back and push you up. Sadly not. Everybody's going to push in, but really, this is just pretty standard stuff right now. So we've got one attack left on them. I think we're going to achieve it for the first time ever. There are air attacks available. Are there? There are. 2 of. Well, I didn't do a damn thing. Let's try again. Well, that was a complete waste of 2 air attacks. Let's move on and see what they do. Wow. They do bomb well. Their bombing is far more effective than ours. Right. They've completely suppressed. We cannot move that. We cannot attack with that unit whatsoever. So I might as well pull him out of the attack source and not worry about him at all. These guys have got no resupply either. There's not the perfect scenario. These guys are super hard. They're going to do us a lot of damage. You can see they're level 2. That didn't do anything to suppress them at all. These guys are tough. Right, we're going to have to push in and risk losing some units in order to weaken them. That hasn't weakened them either. Okay, this is a 1-to-1 attack. We've at least got them out of the city. That's something. So there we go. We've taken Einfall. So we've got the secondary objective. That's the first time I've managed to do that. And there we go. That's the kick-in that I've been trying to give them for about 20 minutes now. Can I get any units up into this corner? I'm not sure if I can. I don't know if you can actually move into that corner. That might be the sort of the source from which all of their units come from. And as a result, we can't push that far up, because that's effectively the next campaign, I think. Right, so I believe we've done it, and hopefully air attacks are available. But are there any units? So we got some logistic data. We took some enemies. I mean, there is a square there, but I can't hit it. That's their HQ. Why can't I take the HQ? I know you can take the HQ. It seems ridiculous I don't have any units that can reach that square. Yeah, I don't know why I can't do that. I'm sure there is a reason, I just don't know what it is. So I can move right up to it. I mean, this unit here has even got attack available to it, but I just cannot seem to attack it. I can't bomb it, I can't do anything. So I think that's us done. I think for the first time ever I've completed the map. Yes, I've done it on easy, but hopefully I've taught you how to play the game at the same time. That's the whole point of it. So let's end the turn and just see what happens. So they're still bombing us, the cheeky sods. Objectives completed. You are victorious. All primary objectives have been completed, and there are no more bonus objectives left. You can end the scenario now. You may also continue for a few more turns if you want to, and that's optional. So areas like this that have yet to be explored and controlled by units, you could move into those and take complete control of them. There's no real benefit to that. You don't get better supply or anything like that. There we go. Finally managed to move into the enemy's main HQ and take that. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't think there's anything that I could add to that. I think that's pretty much everything that I've learnt in the last sort of 48 hours of playing the game. So hopefully that's a way of getting you up to speed as quick as possible. And that's really the intention of this. And it's a fantastic game. So if you're unconvinced by this gameplay, then I urge you to go check out some other gameplay as well, because it really is a quality game. I'm still going to play. I'm going to try and complete the whole campaign if I can, but I'm very, very busy. I have a lot of reviews that I need to make, so I may not be able to do that anytime soon. Maybe over Christmas when I take a bit of a break. Who knows? But until next time, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. You know where the like button is if you enjoyed this video, and I really appreciate it if you could give it a little click. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye for now.